Hi everyone, I'm Lisa.
Hi.
That's Carla. In case
That's
you
Carla
forgot.
Craft Daddy K. Hi.
I don't know where she is because where she is for me is different from you. So, welcome, Carla.
It's been a bit.
Lori unfortunately is traveling for work this week and wasn't able to join us for the monthly video. But there's so much happening, friends. We thought we'd better get on and tell you. So thank you, Carla, for jumping in again. We love having you here. All right, this is a video about cross-stitching challenges on Facebook that you can participate in to get you motivated and get progress happening on those WIPs. There's heaps happening, especially in No New Start / Warriors, but we're going to put that at the end of the video. So people who are interested in that, heaps more information following on from Natalie and my video the other day. So let's start with our regular challenges for the month of November with the Daily 30. What's happening, Carla?
Daily 30 is so easy this month. It is beyond easy. As a matter of fact, I just set up my event for that. So I have it right here. It is Be Thankful November. And I could read you all of the things, but it is National Gratitude Month for November. And they're encouraging us to embrace the power of gratitude. So basically, you're still doing your 300 stitches per prompt, but it's an acrostic of Be Thankful. So those are your 10 letters. And the interesting thing is they're a little bit more lenient this time because there's 4 ways that you can utilize that letter. So it can be the first letter of the pattern name, the pattern name. It can be the first letter in the name of the designer. It can also be a name of an item in the design. So if you have, I will say, a ball for the letter B in your design, you can use that. You just have to explain that you have a ball on your WIP, and that's how it ties to the letter B. And the fourth way is the actual letters appear in the stitchers that have those crosswords the patterns that are out there. You may have the letter actually in your design or your sampler stitchers. So it's the letters Be Thankful. So
wow, cool.
Just really an easy one, I think, this month. And with those different 4 options, you can really do a lot with that.
That's great. Well, that is really, really options. So, we might actually address that as we're addressing some other prompts. Come back and double it in when we think of something for another prompt. Let's see if we can double it into one of those letters from Be Thankful. That would be good. And that also rolls in really nicely to doing Carla twice in a row here, but PopCulture, because they have an acrostic too. What are their letters for PopCulture?
Oh, you know what? It went right out of my brain, Lisa. Do you remember?
I do. It's sweater weather.
Sweater weather.
Sweater weather.
Is it the same prompts that you can use like throughout like Daily 30? Or does it have to, do you know if it has to start? I need to find that. You keep going.
I didn't research that. But just while that's happening, the other thing that is continuing with PopCulture is this scavenger hunt that we've been on for a few months. And I'm so thrilled it's continuing because I haven't really been paying a lot of attention to it, and I need to. So, get back and join the scavenger hunt for PopCulture. And remember, in all these groups, you can double dip across, use the same stitches for as many groups as you can, if that's what you want to do. You don't have to.
They call that double dipping.
We do call that double dipping. The only things you can't double dip on sometimes is within a group if there's different events happening. So generally, if you're in a different,
use the weekly and then use the same stitches for a monthly. So, and the only reason I bring that up is because I know that a lot of groups are letting in new members at this time, and so it's good to know that lingo of what's a double dip, because a lot of new people don't know what that is.
That's very true.
So sweater weather for PopCulture, it's 200 stitches for each letter, and it needs to be in the chart title or the design name.
Right.
Or the designer name, I'm sorry.
Yes, so it's the first
one letter.
Yeah.
You can do 300 stitches as a penalty for one letter.
That's great. So they do accept first and last names, I think I remember, of the designer name and the chart names. So anything that is a first letter, I think, counts for them. All right, well, we'll keep them in mind as we go through the other prompts.
Bless you.
Sorry. Hopefully I sound better. I realized I hadn't plugged my earphone in, so hopefully that's sounding a bit clearer. All right, so let's go to our first prompt-based thing for this month. We don't have a lot of prompt-based ones. And
no,
that
we
is,
don't this month, which is good. I think that's nice for a nice break for people that are, prepping for holidays and or just getting through Halloween. Now we're rolling into the America's Thanksgiving. So,
and then Christmas.
that's nice to give a nice little break.
That is good. Well, for the prompt ones, Down Under Divas still have prompts, and we are continuing our journey around Australia. And this month we are looking at the islands of Australia. Now, remember, this group is one, their monthlies are huge, but you don't have to do them all, and you choose your level of what you want to do. But basically, you want to get a total of stitches of between 3,000 and 10,000. There's different levels. So if you're interested, check it out. If it says stitch on the item, you have to stitch on the item. So this is a challenging group, but
it's very challenging.
But this is a good thing. So let's see how you would go, Carla. And you cannot double dip these with the fortnightly challenges, which currently is the Melbourne Cup one I talked about last week. Number one, Christmas Island is located in the Indian Ocean and is recently known for its Centre for Housing Refugees. It's well known for red crab migrations. So stitch 2,000 stitches on a piece with a crab or 2,000 stitches in red floss. Can you do either of them, Carla?
Well, I already finished my crab. So that rules that one out. I'm kind of scanning through my WIP album here in my No New Starts WIP album, and I don't see anything that I haven't finished. Oh, well, I could do. Okay. Let me find you again. Okay, let me share my screen. I could do this one. It's actually going to end up being a restart for me in 2023, but it's Nora Corbett, Miss Ladybug, and she has a red dress. So that is one I'm actually going to be restarting for next year. I didn't like the floss I was using, so I adopted that one out this year to somebody else who wanted to have fun.
There you go. That's great. Well, there's definitely 2,000 stitches of red that you would be able to do on that if you wanted to. And I find I like to try and do these about every 2 months because they're quite substantial. But I like, this month it's going to be driving me. I don't have any thoughts on the red floss, but the 2,000 stitches on a piece with the crab, I'm not sure, but there's every chance I can find a crab in my amazing Animal Kingdom bookshelf.
Oh, I haven't stitched on mine yet this year, so.
Well, maybe if we can find a crab, I'm going to have to look. I mean, I would be surprised if there's not. However, I wasn't planning on working on this month. This is actually my WIPGO call for December, but as you know, with WIPGO, Jessie Marie's called the numbers, and she called, do you remember which numbers they were?
I think it
12
was
and 24. 12 and
12
24.
and 24.
Yeah. So that leaves, I think, 4 and 23.
Mm-hmm.
This one here, my big red ship of life, will come in December, but check out the crab.
Yeah, and look at you're not doing yours in red.
No, I'm not doing mine red. If I was doing it as a red sample, fine, but I'm not.
Yeah,
but the crab. So I could decide to do my 2,000 stitches on that this month if I want to fill that prompt. Mm-hmm. We'll see how I feel. All right, the second one is Fraser Island, and this is the largest sand island in the world. Stitch 2,000 stitches on a piece with sand.
Well, a piece with sand, I'm sure I have, and I do. So mine would be my Stony Creek. Where's my share screen? Okay. It's going to be my Stony Creek, and I'm working on the flamingo stocking, and she's got sand down here.
She definitely has sand. That's good.
What I'll work on. And I haven't stitched on that yet this year. So that's kind of my focus. Get the ones I haven't touched.
This one's probably pushing outside the limits, but a stitch in time has an hourglass, and usually an hourglass is sand in it, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, very good.
So that's possibly what I could do for that one. Number 3, the Whitsunday Islands are located off the coast of Queensland near the Great Barrier Reef. They're a great holiday spot. Stitch 1,000 stitches on a piece related to holidays.
Well, I could use the same stocking and just make it 3,000 stitches.
Yeah.
Because why not? I've already got it out. Just use it.
And I've got to work on some of my WIPGO pieces. my Christmas house #2, and Christmas is our biggest holiday in Australia. Doesn't look at all like that, but it's Christmas. Our Christmas holidays, we have our 5 or 6 weeks off school, so I could do that. Groot Island is the 4th largest island in Australia off the Gulf of Carpentaria. It's Dutch for big island. Stitch 1,000 stitches on a piece with something big, or for something completely unrelated that contains Groot, the character from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, how about this? Doesn't have a well, I guess it could. I'm going to share it anyway. And this is my Stargazer. It's a limited edition from Haid that was released a while back. And I could paint a picture with the galaxies being big, open sky, and all the constellations. So I can paint that into a picture for a story.
And I mean, my first thought would be big house.
Mm-hmm.
But if I didn't want to do that, because I've got another one I've got to work on, and this is another 1,000 stitches, and my WIPWarrior goal is 1,011 stitches. So he's a big lion.
Oh yeah,
because there's a baby lion too. So who knows? Again, we are not experts. We are just giving you our opinion on our interpretation, and we are, not 100% accurate necessarily. Just giving you an idea of how we work. All right, Norfolk Island. It's an Australian territory in the South Pacific island, known for its pine trees and cliffs. Stitch 500 stitches on a piece with pine trees or cliffs. Carla,
people really like this one. I think I got this one covered.
Yeah.
This is Take It Easy, another Heaven and Earth design, because I like my Heaven and Earth designs. But its artist is Jeffrey Severn, and these are pine trees that my moose is hanging out relaxing on. So I'll take that.
Well, I'm going to be multitasking here with my Nutcracker Village because it's got pine trees.
Oh yes, and that's wrapping up. I saw that there's a new one being released. It's Big City Christmas.
Yes,
it's gonna be starting. So I'm jumping in on that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to continue with that one. I haven't finished this one, but you know what I'm like with those ones, so I will be joining that one definitely. Cocoa Keeling Islands are located in the Indian Ocean. It's a dry island with no alcohol. So stitch 500 stitches on a piece that contains a non-alcoholic beverage.
Well, because we know we want to do different things, right? We don't want to always be looking at the same thing. How about, I keep sharing, going back and forth. I have done just another button company, their teacups. And so I finished September's teacup this year, and I finished the Christmas and the Halloween, but I still have June and I still have August to do. So I would say teacup is holding tea. That's a non-alcoholic drink.
Definitely. And I can do my Maple Lane with a coffee shop.
Oh yes. Aw.
Finally, I can do something, and that's one of the ones called, so that's perfect. Phillip Island is located off the coast of Victoria, and besides being the home of a little penguin colony, it's also known for its motorcycle racing. Stitch 500 stitches on a piece with a car or motorbike.
Oh my. Well, a car or a motorbike?
Yes, a car or a motorbike.
I was even looking at museum shelf, but I don't even see a car on there. See a lot of wagons and horse-drawn carriages.
I have a car while you're looking. There's actually a car parked in the side of the Christmas house. So I'm right.
Oh, I found one. Okay. Did you show yours? I'm sorry, I was looking for mine. Okay, so mine is when I found Disney World map. And
there's a car
right down here.
Yeah, definitely. All right.
I like stitching on that one too. I need to get that one out.
Yeah. King Island is located in Bass Strait between Tasmania and Victoria. It's well known for its beef and dairy. Stitch 500 stitches with the piece with a cow or another animal that produces milk for human consumption.
Well, that rules out the dragon.
Do you have a cow? Is there a cow in your Disney?
You would think there would be. I don't think so. There's ducks.
Ducks
I don't
produce
see
milk.
a cow in that one.
Do your ducks
And I
produce
don't
milk
think we
in
can
America?
milk bears.
You can't milk bears.
I'm
I've
not.
got one.
Do you have a cow? I got a cat, and I got ice cream.
I'm just looking at the animal kingdom. Shame they didn't want a penguin. We got penguins.
Oh, I found a cow. Okay, I found a cow. All right, let's see. It is, sorry, it's taking me a minute clicking around. It's Teresa Cockett, Cotswold Fields, and right there's a cow and there's a goat. So there's two things that people drink.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm on the same line as you. I have got a baby lamb and lamb's milk. So lamb's milk. And then we've got Bribie Island is a small island off the coast of Queensland, popular holiday place for camping and fishing. Oh, Carla, this is right up your alley. A piece related to camping or fishing.
Oh, well, that's easy. How about, let me do one that I just started this year and partially finished one of them. And that would be, click the right button. That would be Prairie Schoolers All You Can Eat. And it's got a fish. It's got a picnic area with bears. And up here it has the bird that has caught said fish. So
I was actually thinking you were going to do your camper bag.
Well, I do have that too, but this one was popped up at me whenever I was looking.
Okay. Well, that one will be quicker. You get another finish. So I'm going to have to work on my big red ship Alive because you can't tell me that's not a fishing ship.
Right. I agree.
So, and the last one, Cockatoo Island is in Sydney Harbour. Originally named Cockatoo Island due to large flocks of cockatoos that lived there. And then it was a prison establishment and schools. And now it's a tourist destination. So 500 stitches on a piece with a parrot, a school, or a ship.
Okay. Well,
obviously, we know what my ship would be.
Well, here is mine. And I know a lot of people are working on this. It is the
Once Upon a Fairy Tale.
Once Upon a Fairy Tale. And down here in the corner is the ship. Of course, I'm still up in the corner up here at the very top, but eventually I'll get to the ship and look at all those prompts it's going to see me through in the next few years.
Oh yeah, they're really good for those. And I don't think it's a set of piece, so I don't think we've had to stitch on anything this month. Well, another one that I've got to work on is my autumn sampler, and down in the corner is a schoolhouse.
Oh, nice.
So there you go. That works beautifully. Wonderful. Okay. What else am I thinking? Where else am I meant to go? SemiSaneStitchers. There's lots of fun things happening at SemiSane now. It all starts like today or yesterday, but you can still join in. It's not too late. They are having a Black Friday brawl. So you post your start and your finish for the day with your stitch count. And the idea is that at 10 p.m. Eastern or whatever time it says, you've got to post your stitch count by that time. And then you go through and you steal a shopping bag from someone who had less stitches than you. So everyone starts with 10 bags. And the idea is to get the most bags by the end of the thing. So you've got to stitch more than people to not have your bag stolen.
Oh, geez.
So that could be fun. We could have fun with that, Carla.
The logistics behind that just has my head spinning.
So yeah, but it's a simple one. Just stitch and put your stitch count and see if you lose bags. Clue, game of Clue. So you guys all know how Clue happens. So they've got a game of Clue that's starting. It's bappening. So working 1,000 stitches each week. It's an animal theme. So 1,000 stitches each week to work on a BAP that fits the theme. And since it's an animal focus, I feel like, Carla, this particular BAP might come in handy. And this or that, where each week you stitch on a piece that is this or that, easy, and then November focus. So all the good semi-sane things are continuing. All right, so I think that then leads us, to no new starts. Now, there's lots happening in no new starts. The biggest thing is we have renamed ourselves WIPWarriors, because for next year, we're not just focusing on no new starts, not that we did this year either. So we've decided to fix that misnomer, and we still have the no new starts challenge. So if you are interested in the no new starts group, it is now open. You need to look for the WIPWarriors group. We renamed it just to make it consistent for next year. It's open now to new members. You can join, but you must answer the membership questions to get in.
There's 4 questions.
4 questions.
Scroll down. A lot of people are missing the very last question, is if you agree to the group rules. And if you don't answer it, you're being declined.
And we have those rules for good reasons, because we have a very happy and safe community in that group, and we want to keep it that way. So thank you. We will welcome new members. We'd love you to join us. So you can do no new starts, which means for the whole year, starting January 1, you do not start a thing until the I don't know, 11th of December or something. Or you can work your WIPs, which is where you actually start the year with 1 freebie up your sleeve, and then you can earn 2 more freebies during the year by completing your updates on your album to get your albums checked, plus the opportunity to earn freebies by participating in different games and challenges along the way. You can do 23 and 23, which means that you only work on up to 23 WIPs for the year, unless you finish any. And with work your WIPs and 23 and 23, any finishes can get replaced. And this year, there's no size limitation. You can replace with whatever you feel like.
So if I finish a small, I can start a BAP. If
you want to, go for it.
Yep.
We do still need to know the sizes of the projects, though, because we award entries based on the size of finishes. There's a new one called Focus X, which is where you're going to do extreme focus on only up to 10 pieces. Now, for some of you going, well, who cares? I only have 4 pieces. Well, that's great. Then do Focus X and you have a whole bunch of spares up your sleeve if you want them. You can start anything during the year to fill up those 10 spots should you wish to. And then the last screen is SWIWI, and we do credit Jessie Marie does stuff for that fantastic term. Stitch what you want when you want. In other words, come and have fun, participate in the group, and do what you like. It's fine if that's your group. I mean, this group is about helping you achieve your goals, right? We don't wave a big stick for no reason. It's to help you with your goals. So if you want to come and stitch whatever, that's fine, but you have to be an active participant in our group. You have to stitch. And it is still an expectation of around that, was it 1,500 stitches a month?
Right. And that's not 1,500 stitches for each of your WIPs. That's across all of your WIPs. So, you know, that was a big question last year that we had, was people were saying, well, I could never do that many stitches on all of my WIPs, and they have 200 WIP lists. It's across all of them. We just want to see your progress.
Yeah, that's what it's about. It's about working on what you've got. If you want to start something new, that's fine. Get it up to the 200 stitches straight away so that it's actually got some substantial stitching on it. And yeah, have fun. Enjoy all our games and challenges. We've got some more ideas happening for next year. Most of our challenges are very flexible. We have time counting ones as well as stitch counting ones. We have got some of them that will be, you know, that loose prompt idea like we've had with the Zodiac and the Know Your Moderator this year. And then we've got, most of them are just, you know, show progress, or they're specific games. There'll be some quick fire games, and we are introducing the 2 sort of monthly events. One is the focused stitch, where you're going to focus on a piece and you're going to try and beat the admins on stitching for that. And then we're also going to have the Stitch on Your Sals event. And both of those events will be run on our Zoom room, so you can come and join and actually stitch with people and get motivated. So that is what we're happening for next year. Okay. So we might jump into what's happening this month first, Carla.
Okay.
What do we got?
Well, so this month, just briefly, the travel event, our travelers are traveling along, and the travel event is our No New Starts yearly event. And it will continue into next year. So we talked about some of those monthlies in the main group. Requirement for the travel is not changed. You still have to be an active participant, and you have to be a member of the main group in order to participate in our travel group. They are considered two separate groups, but we actually work simultaneously together. So you can double dip stitches between travel and the main group challenges, which is nice. You just can't double dip between two main group challenges at the same time.
Unless it says you can. Yeah.
Our travelers are on our last leg for 2022, and they're kind of rounding up. We're going to get ready to open for new travelers to join us here in the next 2 weeks. At some point, we will open it up to new travelers, and we will have a newcomers event specific for our new people coming in. So without getting into a lot of details, it's just going to be a good practice run for people to learn how to post, how to do a challenge group, especially if you're new, where we have time to kind of give you some more one-on-one type coaching if you need it. We found last year we had a few people that weren't into challenge groups, had never been in a challenge group before. So they had a lot of questions that we had never even considered because we've been doing challenge groups for a while. And one of the main things I love about WIPWarriors or No New Starts is we are inclusive of all of the stitchers, whether you are a low count stitcher and you do 100 stitches a week, or you're a high count stitcher and you're stitching 1,000 stitches a week. You know, we are inclusive across the board. So I like that. And we have events that accommodate that.
Yes, and not every event suits every type of stitcher. We purposely have different events for different types. And I'm just going to butt in and say all the new members are welcome to start participating in any of the events in the group. Once Carla launches this new person event in the challenge in the travel group, it's just that anything you earn in the main group at the moment, you're not going to earn anything. It's just for practice until January. Right. Because we are finishing off the year for the regular, 2022 people, and they're all working hard to get their raffle entries and everything for the raffle draw.
Right. And that's important, is because you can practice, and I encourage, like Lisa said, practice. Do some posting, see how the lingo is and how you do in the events. Ask questions, because now's the time to ask. You got a lot of seasoned people that have been doing these challenges all year, and they could probably answer most of the questions we would answer. And it's good practice. And the reason why we don't is the raffles, our group is closed for a reason, and we'll close the group again on the 1st of January, if not before, because the people that are in the group and participating all year deserve their chance to win a prize at the end. So we don't want to take that away from somebody new that we just brought on and they've only been here a month. So let's talk about monthly events. Can we transition to monthly events? Because we could go on and on about WIPWarriors, on and on. Okay, so monthly events. We do have the Zodiac event, and this month it is Year of the Dog. So I'm not going to get into details about that, but it is posted, and that one's a kind of a nice one. There's no stitch limits. It's progress, show progress, which is great. That's perfect for the low stitchers. So
and you can double dip it with anything. You just put your start and your finish on the piece that fits that prompt. Obviously the first one would be with a dog. So any piece that has a dog, and you're right, and there's flowers, there's colors, you got to stitch in the color for that.
Right.
It's easy. I think we went through that last video, so we don't need to.
Yeah. And so the other one is for this month is Know Your Moderator, or your Know Your Admin or your Modmin. And this month it's Martha DeWald, which is one of our moderators who has been instrumental all year in keeping track of everybody's finishes and postings about the moderator. And she just has been doing fantastic. And this month it's her turn. So she gave us details because she knows her best. And there's 12 prompts. Again, this is another one. You don't have to stitch a certain amount of stitches. You just have to show progress. So a lot of times for me, if I meet a prompt, I just, whatever my day stitching is, I'll put my start finish and then my finish, whatever I stitched the day. So as long as you're showing progress. So the first one about Martha is she lived in 4 states in the United States, and we need to stitch on a WIP that we can tie to one of those states. So Pennsylvania, South Carolina, Indiana, Michigan. There's a lot of things within those states.
All right. Well, since I'm an Australian and I know very little, since you've already said one of them is Michigan, and I know that it snows in Michigan.
It does.
So I'm going to tie in the snow on my Christmas house with the snow in Michigan. There you go.
All right. And I can actually use one that would tie to all of those, and that is my Pickle Barrel Outdoor 4-pack, because it's s'mores and hiking and jumping in the lake and camping. So in those states, definitely have all of that. So I can definitely tie that in. Her birth month is November. Stitch on a WIP you can tie to November.
Okay. Well, I feel like if I take the American line, it's fall in November.
Autumn.
Autumn.
Well, that would work.
So I could do that one.
Sure.
Doesn't fit for me.
I'm going to use my Randall Spangler, the haunted, what is this one? Come on, Lisa, you know it.
Oh, no, I can't.
Trick or Treat 2. I'm sorry. It's Trick or Treat 2. If I looked over here and read, and because it's fall season. So that's what happens in November. The pumpkins, trick or treating just ended. So
well, that looks like that looks like today. That's like you're walking around today looking at the houses that were still decorated for Halloween yesterday.
Yep. She enjoys stitching designs in a series, whether seasonal, holiday, monthly. Stitch on a WIP that's part of a series.
Well, that's easy. My Nutcracker cell.
Look at her. She's easy. Let me see. I have one. It's just a matter of finding it.
That's why I love my photos. They're so easy. I just get them out and be ready.
Okay. Well, I have. I lost some of my photos. I haven't had to do this in so long. I forgot.
No, you're out of practice.
So I have Harbor Haven, and they are a series of. There's 12 in the series. So I am working on that.
Lovely.
Let's see. This next one. I've been struggling the last 2 years with FOMO, fear of missing out. If you didn't know, Carla stresses from that too. So this year, and the reason is she has done no new starts for the last 2 years. I'm sorry if you hear dinging. Apparently my family thinks now's the time to start texting. I have been struggling the last 2 years for FOMO with the 2 series of cottage garden samplings, A Time for All Seasons and A Year in the Woods. Stitch on one of the designs from either of these series.
So what are they again?
They are cottage garden samplings, A Time for All Seasons, and A Year in the Woods.
All right. I don't have either of them, so that's one prompt I won't do, which is fine.
Yes, I don't have either of them started, but they are on my list for next year.
Right. Well,
A Year in the Woods will be done next year.
Okay.
If you haven't figured out, I'm squee-weeing.
You are.
Okay. I've taught quite a few people to stitch, myself included, either cross stitch or counted needlework. Stitch on a WIP that you would use to teach a beginner or a WIP that would inspire a person to take up stitching. There's a bonus here. If you have her daughter Amy, who has a floss tube in the picture playing in the background, it's usually what they mean by that. She taught her daughter to stitch almost 20 years ago. And I'm going to tell you, her daughter's channel is Keaide Stitches. It's Keaide Stitches, like Katie Stitches on YouTube. And I've watched her, and she is cute as can be. I can definitely tell you that they are mother and daughter when you watch. So what would you use to teach somebody, Lisa?
Well, I've got 2 things that I would use to teach someone with. Really quite easy would be the temperature bookshelf. And I do want to come back to this later, but that's nice and easy. by Chrissy's Corner, is it? But also the
Right.
maple, the frosted pumpkins are pretty easy to teach someone to stitch with. They're quite blocky. They're interesting enough that something happens, and they're small motifs. So probably my Maple Lane for this month.
Okay. I would use this one, and this is Blackbird Designs, and there is the little stockings. It's one color. It's the basic cross, and you're counting, so there's not going to be a lot of added, and they're small enough to keep people's attention. So, all right. My phone went to sleep. Okay. I have several monochromatic pieces going and would like to start a few more to use my Silks for You hanks. Stitch on a monochromatic whip.
Okay, well that's perfect because I need to finish stitching on my Modern Folk embroidery to catch up my whip go and it's monochromatic.
All right.
I'm loving these prompts this month.
I know. I'm like, oh, I can do that one. I can do that one. It's been fun. I am actually, and I need to touch this again. I feel like I've been leaving it alone for a while. And this is my Anzac Long Dog Samplers, and I'm doing that in DMC monochromatic. And I just got the top portion. I'm down to the kangaroos, so I need to do more work on it. Let's see. I enjoy working on pieces with different stitches. Stitch on a whip that utilizes different stitches besides cross stitch, half stitch, or back stitch.
Well, just so happens that my Victoria sampler does all that.
Oh, very nice.
Good timing.
I am going to pass on that one because I know I don't have anything unless I have a Mill Hill kit hiding that I haven't started yet. I don't have anything. Let's see. I have two stitchy weaknesses, scissors and project bags. Stitch on a whip of your choice and include a picture of a project bag or scissors. And you could even mention where you purchased your project bag to enable others. In other words, to enable Martha. Yes. So, and I think you should get a bonus point if Martha orders said project bag along the way.
I think that's lovely. Well, good. That's a great idea. So whatever we feel like, we'll chuck in there. That's
we can stitch on anything we want, which is, those are fun. I like those ones. Her favorite drinks are Diet Coke and tea. I drink both hot and iced tea. Stitch on a whip you can tie to one of those.
Okay, so I drink just Martha's favorite drink, Diet Coke. Can I tie it into the fact that I am always drinking Diet Coke when I'm stitching, Martha? Does that work?
I'm going to guess no.
All right. I haven't looked at the rest of Maple Lane, but I imagine since it's got coffee and tea.
I think you're good with that.
Yeah.
Okay. And I showed my Just Another Button Company teacup, so I don't need to pull that back up again. I don't have a favorite snack. I like most of them. Stitch on a whip that has some kind of food in it.
Some kind of food.
Oh, I found another one I could have used for coffee.
Autumn sampler, there's heaps of food there.
Oh yeah, for sure. And for me, I would use my Randall Spangler Sunday. Oh, here we go. This is Sunday Delight. And for the record, ice cream is one of my favorite snacks.
I was going to say, I call a banana more food than ice cream, but that's okay.
But I like the ice cream. Okay, it says, I like all colors. I don't really have a favorite, but I'm drawn to the brighter shades. Put stitches on a whip using bright colors.
All right. Well, that's really easy for me because my temperature bookshelf is very bright.
All right. I have one that is actually I'm in a round robin with, and that is the Rosewood Manor, and it's the Dreaming of, but we're doing a round robin with some friends, and I picked tulips, and those are got some bright, pretty pinks. So I'll go with that.
Yes.
And then Martha's last prompt is to stitch on a whip that is identical to one in her whip album. And she does give you a link to her whip album. I already went through it. I cannot believe with all her whips, I do not have a single one that matches. Not one.
Do I?
I'm surprised. Martha, we need to work on that. You need to look at my album and pick up a full coverage, so we can support each other, and we'll do full coverage together.
There you go. Did you notice any that I have in her album?
I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't. She has a
I'll have
lot
to
of flowers. I didn't even see a sampler. Now she may have one, but nothing that jumped out at me.
Okay.
So
I'll go and look. That's fine.
peruse. It's not a big album, but it's definitely bigger than Mary Barbara's was. So
Well, that's good. And thank you, Martha, for all your work this year. You are an invaluable asset to the Modern In team. So thank you.
yep, it's been
Okay.
great.
That's it for Martha.
That's it.
Okay. So the other event we've got happening in November is the November FFO. Every year I do this. So since you've just knocked it over, and I haven't added up how many finishes, but my goodness, we had a lot of finishes in October. So thank you to all those who did participate. And the winners of the Knock It Over, I did announce, it actually was Carla and Michelle Roundtree. And the reason they won was that they had a lot of finishes, but more importantly, they got very close to their original goal. Remember, I made you put that goal at the beginning? So, you know, for example, they wanted to finish 8 and they finished 7 or something like that. So that's why those two won. It wasn't necessarily who finished the most. It was actually who achieved the best goal. So well done.
And
to
to give you
guys.
an idea, this is the prize that the other person picked out of our Lucky Dip album. So I'll be getting this out to her. And our prizes do come from donations from people within the group in No New Start. So they mail them to Lisa or I, depending on what country they are in. And we separate some for end of year prizes, and some we have been giving out throughout the year for different events and participation. So thank you for everybody that has sent prizes so that we could do that. So that's been fun. And
So Carla actually
for shipping.
She was
So
totally
that's been
surprised that she has to go shop. Now she has to go shop the Lucky Dips in her house.
Yeah, I get to go shop my Lucky Dips, but I don't have to pay shipping. So that's nice.
Yes. So guys, on that, the shipping is the killer for us. So please, 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 if you are willing to, it's all in the documents. Please donate for the shipping costs. And also for next year, we are going to be going with gift vouchers for the end of the year prizes. So if you'd like to donate for the gift vouchers at the end of the year prizes and shipping, then there is a PayPal address, which is craftaddict@gmail.com. And Carla is the main shipper because she has most of it. Okay, so that is what's happening in WIPWarriors / No New Starts. And that's pretty much what's happening around the traps. There's other groups, of course, all the little games and things that Gloria and I normally talk about in the fortnightly chat are happening. I do just want to do one little quick shameless plug, if that's okay, Carla. And that is to say, I have loved stitching Christie's Corner's temperature bookshelf this year. I did it very differently. I did it doing my stitch count. So I count my stitches every day. So I came up with the crazy idea of starting a sale with Paddock Lane Designs, and it is based on a craft room. One of those, think of those big, massive American Dream cupboards or something, where you open it up and you've got all your craft supplies. That's the inspiration for this sale. So if you would like to join us, it is actually launching today. In fact, when I finish filming from Carla, I am going to be getting the launch happening and doing the launch video on the Paddock Lane Design site. But if you would like to get involved with stitching along with us for the stitch along, it's the craft room stitch count sale. You don't have to do your stitch count. You can do your time stitching. If you want to, you can be boring and do your temperature like everyone else, or you could use it for something else motivating. Some people I've been talking to want to use it for how much water did they drink in the day? How much exercise did they do? How many chapters of books did they read? So you set your own journey. So pre-orders are going to be launching today, the 1st of November. And the reason for the pre-orders is that if you would like to get it with the cottage garden threads that the frame recommends, and the fabric that's bespoke dyed in a dual tone specifically for this sale by either Paddock Lane Designs in Australia, or I'm collaborating with the beautiful Corinne from Grace Note Fabrics in America. She's going to be offering the fabric and threads for people, but only as pre-orders. You're going to have to do the pre-orders in the next sort of week or two. to get those things, because we have to order them in and do the dyeing, because in December, the first pattern will drop and you'll be able to get started on doing the framework in December so that you're ready to start stitching whatever you want to stitch during the year. Okay, and I will be running a end of month catch-up stitch session on Zoom every month for the members of that SAL to participate in. And you also will be getting to be in an exclusive Facebook group for that SAL. So if you're interested, check out Paddock Lane Designs, and all the information will be there sometime in the next few hours. All right, that's my shameless plug.
I'm excited.
Me too. I'm looking forward to it. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. We hope you have a great November. And until we see you next, happy stitching, everyone.
Bye.